Hello everyone and welcome. These are the games that are so scary it can make you yourself. Games so scary that your bum will poo. Okay, let's just get into the video with the first game on the list. This game is Welcome to Kowloon. The developers of this game are N4BA, AISCA, Admir, and Notex. The game is a indie horror game and is a very short one. It's around 50 minutes to complete, but the horror in this game is very much real. Like when you're in the game, it feels like you're really immersed in it. The story is pretty basic, but it doesn't stray away too much from that authentic horror feel that I really like. And there's some other games on this list that I will very much say are better at it, but this game has a very simple premise and it's done very well. Your character essentially is placed in this very horrific situation. You are in a city which, spoiler alert, doesn't exist. Yes, the whole game is a hallucination, but the player is forced to venture into this abandoned hotel where we see the likes of a few entities. One being a very tall and very much terrifying lady who stalks us through the majority of the game. There, I believe, is a father or this man who tracks down the player in the later stages of the game. The game progressively gets darker and it's something that I really enjoyed. Like most horror games start off and they're very scary off the start, but I like a horror game that can slowly build up the action and kind of stay in that scary zone for a long time. And Welcome to Kowloon does an amazing job at environmental horror. The sound design in this game is phenomenal. It is a very well designed game, and when a player has to pay attention to everything, it makes them a lot more tense. And there's some moments in this game where you will be very scared. For me, being in the courtyard and hearing the thumping mixed with the ambience in the background really did make me really unnerved. The ambience in this game is second to none. And for me, it gives it that edge that I believe some other horror games lack, and that is having good ambience. And this game, I was playing this game with my mates in the VC, and when I went to this section of the game, everyone just went quiet. And they were telling me things that I didn't know what was happening, and it just made me completely lose it. So this game is something that plays in the mind, but it does it in a really good way. And another thing is the ending is actually, spoiler alert, it's a good ending. Your character makes it out with a few scars, but it actually has a good ending. And I feel like more horror games should have good endings, but then again, I see the effectiveness of a bad ending. And talking about bad endings, this is our next game on the list. A bit of a shorter one, but my god, this game is absolutely horrifying. This next game is called Psalm 5913. And it's a very effective horror game in that it's based off the Bible, and the section that the game is 5913 is actually not on the Bible. The Bible goes up to 5912. So this game acts as it is a metaphor of something that shouldn't be there. And when you play the game, you will fully understand why this is the case. This game, as soon as you start it, you immediately are put into this very decrepit house, and it gives off phasmophobia vibes. But then as you go into the game and you uncover it, you begin to realize that it is absolutely terrifying. The VHS look for this game is phenomenal. I really like the design they went for, and it actually makes the game pop in a way that makes it look photorealistic, and I absolutely hate that because it makes the game that much more believable. The game kind of alludes to what is happening, and what seems to be happening is your character somehow ends up in this cabin in the forest, and it's off the grid and not many people know about it, but in this cabin lies something very evil. And this game has a section where there's just a dark corridor, and I kid you not, when I got to this section and everything just went silence and you can hear this thumping, my heart nearly gave up on me. I was absolutely terrified to pick up that flashlight and explore whatever lurked in that darkness, and it's still a thing that haunts me. The game has this feel that you shouldn't be there, and that to me is something I absolutely love. When a horror game in particular, has this feeling that you shouldn't be there, that's when you know that the setting is right. You know you have a good horror game. And I love when a horror game doesn't rely on jump scares for its scares, but mainly its environment. And I love environmental horror. It is my favorite genre, and this game absolutely nails everything I love about a good horror game. The best situation I felt was when you flip all the radios to the correct note, and then the whole room becomes dark and this evil thing scribes on the wall. That for me gives that feeling that you shouldn't be there, and it does it perfectly, because at that point you don't know what's following you this whole game, but then after this point it feels like you've finally done that thing which you can't go back. And well, what happens next is exactly that. At this point you find yourself in the kid's bedroom, where you have to put the correct toys in the correct spots on the chairs. Once you do this, a thing happens, and oh, this was a absolutely horrifying moment. And the ending of this game is the complete opposite to Welcome to Kowloon, in that it's a very bad ending. If you don't know, if you haven't played this game, which I'm assuming many of you haven't, the ending is essentially you unveiling that you have become, well, this. The entity has pretty much taken full control of your body, and you are now a part of its cult. And I really like that they gave you the exit there, showing that you could leave, but at this point the damage had already been done. And that for me is such an effective way to showcase your horror. And this game is such a unique take on the classic horror game trope, and it's done in a way that really gives off authenticity, and I really praise Psalm 5913. The last game on this list for today is a classic. Many of you have heard of this game, but it is such a terrifying experience. This is Visage, made by Sad Square Studios. This game is the pinnacle of environmental and sound-based horror. This game is very bold. On a standard, just objective look, this game is terrible. It doesn't give the player anything. You just have to kind of allude to what's happening. But something I like about that is it makes the player have to figure things out. And that's a thing that makes the horror so much more tense and believable. And trust me, when you play this game, you will absolutely have moments where you will be stuck, not knowing what to do and where to go. I spent 10 minutes absolutely horrified in this corner where this door kept opening and shutting, and I did not know what was going on. But that for me made me so much more alert of the situation and made the horror so much more believable. This is the game that you play at night with all the lights turned off, everything turned off, and it's just you in this game. And it's gonna be something that's gonna terrify you absolutely to the core. The horror in this game mainly goes down to the sound design. There's so much moving sounds in this game. It kind of feels like something's always moving, yet you don't know what it is. And another thing is the fact that you don't know what to expect with this game makes it so much more effective. Like something can just pop out of nowhere and change the whole game, and it makes you just stand there and just experience the absolute horror which is about to come. The game is also based off backstories, with the opening being one of the most absolutely disturbing openings I've ever seen to a game. Like, I would say what happens, but this video may get age restricted, so I think that says enough. This game is disturbing, it is absolutely horrifying, and it is one of the best horror games I think that is ever released. It's a game that will make you poo your pants. If you have enjoyed this video, smash a like, I would really appreciate it. And more videos to come, most definitely. So subscribe if you never want to miss out on a future upload. Anyways, until next time, take it easy and goodbye.